Okay, so hopefully you got all of your straw hay area finished up. We're going to come back with the two pencils that we used for this, and we are going to start doing the rest of the wood. So this is going to be darker because this is in front. All right, and then this is a little bit darker just because it's on the side. All right, and then in this one, just go ahead and fill in the color. Okay, so it coordinates with this wood, but not exactly the same, just really close. Okay, this is behind our rooster. See, I fade it out as I'm going up, and I'm not worried about this border. I can clean it up later before I put down my gel pen. Okay, same thing here, darker. Pull it down so it's a little lighter. Do you see how I'm doing everything that's on the bottom? This is sticking out from under this. This is behind him. Then I'm going to do these knot holes. What that's doing is adding some interest. Oh, there's a V. Let's do that V. So I've just added some interest in the wood. That's all I did. Now let's take this pencil, and we're actually sharpening it as we go. I'm going to roll it, use some off the other side. Do you remember when you were a kid, you used to put a peppermint in your mouth, the peppermint stick, and you'd twist it and roll it to make a sharp point before you jabbed somebody? Surely you didn't jab anybody. Anyway, that's kind of what I'm doing here. I'm rolling this, and it's going to make a new fresh point on it. Okay. See how that point's developing? So anytime you get the opportunity to sharpen your pencils just by laying them on edge, go ahead and do it. It's less pencil that you're actually taking off with a sharpener. Now I'm going to come back to the dark one, and their nails back in the day were wood, correct? So I'm going to make this really dark, and then I'm just putting this in just to put some grain in that wood. Then I come in with my other one. Just finish coloring it in the direction of the grain of the wood, and you'll be fine. Okay, now this could actually be darker because it's coming out from under. I don't think that was dark enough yet, so I just made it darker. And what that did was pop this board to the front. Okay, there we go. Same thing over here. Repeat. It's darker here, and you can, I'm bearing down pretty hard. I know how much pressure I can put on my pencil before it's going to snap. In fact, I've never broken one. But if it takes you 3 or 4 times going over it, then that's fine. Okay? It's not a race. When you're getting to where it's stressful for you to color, you need to stop and slow down and see what you're doing. Are you comparing yourself to others? That's not what this is about. It's about doing your best work, nothing more. Okay, do that now, and then just get some streaks in here. There's like a knot hole. There's a V. Yeah, we don't want to compare with each other. We just want to do our own best. Okay? I don't do these videos so that you can compare or be better than anybody else. I do these videos so that you can improve on your own. and that you're not just sitting coloring by yourself. I think it's always more fun if you're coloring with someone. I enjoy coloring with y'all, even though you don't talk back to me. Imagine that. Silliness. Alright, so the browns are blending nice, and that's okay. Now I'm going to come back in with that same almost black. Now see, it can get too dark fast, so don't do that. Don't let it get too dark on you. Just enough that it's a shadow. And you've seen me a lot of times, I'll use purple. Now I got some brown on my little sheep, or my goat rather. I'm going to go ahead and get it off now while I'm thinking about it, so I don't have to stop and get it off later. And then instead of brushing, use something else to take that off with. Okay, then what was I doing? Oh, this. It's more like a charcoal than a black. I knew if I used black and I messed up, it was going to be really hard to get it off. So, and just go lighter as you're coming down. Remember the sandwiching, so we're just going lighter so that it will automatically kind of sandwich in. Same thing down here. All right. Yeah, we can repeat here. You're right. Just makes it a little more dimensional, getting those darks in. Not being real neat about it. Okay, then my two browns again, and I'm going to have to turn this so that it's comfortable for me. This is a plastic sheet that I put underneath, just so I've got something really smooth underneath. Okay, now let's do some wood grain. Don't you love how wood grain is just so precise? Not? Yeah, I grew up with sarcasm. That was my area of abuse, maybe? I don't know. They say everybody's got a certain amount, and I guess that was mine. Had to be able to be sarcastic to survive. Being a middle child does that to you too, though, I think. But anyway, sometimes sarcasm is fun, as long as you don't get belligerent with it. People have to know when you're just kidding. So, because it's all I knew, it's what I brought my children up with. But you can always go back and tell them how you feel. I'm a much better parent as an adult than I ever was. Well, as them with adults than I ever was when they were kids. Alright, then I'm going to come in. I'm going to go the direction of the grain. That way, if I am moving color around, I am moving it the correct direction. Yeah, see how it got out on my border, out on the edge of the page? So yeah, color does smear. And these are an oil base, but even if you're using Prismacolor, same thing. You can move all that color around. All right, now let's do a before and after. See how choppy? See how you have those little lines in there? They look like just little white marks. Okay, that's what we're after now. And I'm not rubbing enough to get rid of my pencil lines. I'm rubbing enough to get rid of the choppy lines. If I can catch the light for you again. Yeah, see how that's smooth looking now? There we go. That's what I just fixed. All right. Be careful up in there because I don't want to get that any more in my sky than I already have. Okay, how's that, y'all? We did that. Do you feel accomplished? I do. I feel like we really accomplished something there. Now I've got two grays. If you're using the Renoirs, I'm using 24 and 81. Okay, 24 and 81. And don't push hard when you're writing your numbers because you can dent the paper in from the back. All right, so, and then I'm also going to grab my white. Okay, my white is 01. So let's write that down just for reference so that I'll know that I did use it. In case anybody comes back later, what color did you use? Okay, so if you smeared in anywhere, good time to go ahead and get it out. And that's all I'm seeing. Little goat's going to have to be a different color so I don't end up with everything white. I think he's going to be gray. He may be a tan. I'm going to do the little lamb white. That just seems fitting to me. So what I'm going to do, see the V, darker in the V. We need some shadows so that our white, and there's another V, actually looks white. Okay, here's a V. Here's a little V. Here's a V here. I never really thought about the V's until I started on this video, but it's true. Most of the time, the V's are where the a lot of your shadows are, down in those V's. Okay, and then down around him, we're going to do just a little bit, just so that it'll help make him look a little more curved. I'm getting lighter as I come in, barely touching. Now there's a V there. And we're going to put a little under that ear as a shadow, under his chin as a shadow, under that ribbon as a shadow. Did I get that V? Okay, now I'm going to take the darker one very carefully, barely touching my paper. And I'm doing the furthest back part of the V's, just a little bit. Make your darks darker, and that's just going to help things to blend and look better in the long run. Okay. Trying to keep your little circles when you can, but very soft. I mean, y'all, I am like barely touching the paper. That's how come I'm going over it so many times, because I'm really not touching that paper much at all. I'm not going to worry about going around here. Okay. Now, can you see where I did those grays? Okay. I did it behind this line because I wanted to pop this forward. I didn't do it on the line. I didn't do it on both sides of the line. All right. You want to do it behind the line that you want to pop forward. Now I'm going to come in with white, and I am going to do blending. You don't really have to do his whole body, but I just want to blend with what I've already done. The rattle is a lamp base that's sitting on the table. Taking all the cords out of it. I'm going to use it for something else. Yeah, not totally sure yet. Okay, see, I just softened all that out. Soften this out. And this white is like a colorless blender, but it's also mixing white in with it to actually diffuse some of that color or to knock it back. Okay, can you see that? Now, I am going to take a clean part of this tissue, make sure it's clean, and just kind of swirl this a little bit, just for whatever is on there. There we go. Yeah, there's not much color on there because that's all I'm doing to him. Actually, I am going to come through here one more time because I still see just a bit of a line, and you may or may not be able to see it from where you are. There we go. Clean part. You don't want to drag brown or something through all that. Okay, there we go. Now he's got just enough color to him, I think. All right. The goat. Let's go ahead and do the goat gray. Okay, now the way we can do him gray is we're going to take our lightest color and let's just coat this little guy. But let's do it in circles. Just give him a coat of gray. Now I'm thinking that his little horns would probably be white. But maybe gray on the very bottom. And maybe that's something you'll want to look up if you want it more realistic. I'm not worried about it. So I'm going to add a little gray here and get lighter as I go up. Okay. Now up here on this top part, go ahead and do some more because that's the top of his head. And I'm going in a different direction just to try to move some pencil into more of that white space. Okay, go around those ears of the donkey. Now that, I believe, is the same as this. So skip that. If you want to skip that in between, let's just go ahead and skip that too. Okay, so let's skip that area between the legs, and we will call that more of the background color. Okay, let's just keep going around here. Get all this gray in. Now we're just going to call that coat 1. It's not the best, that's okay. Now we're going to come in with the other gray we were using, the darker one, and we're going to think what all is shadowed. Okay, this horn, we're going to go right around it. Okay, because it's casting a little shadow. Then we're going to fade it out. I didn't put any here. I guess I could put just a touch there. I just don't want to overdo it. This right here, she's shadowing. So I'm going to put a little bit down the side right here. Not a lot, and then fade it. So we'll go all the way down doing that. Because he's behind her. He is behind this ear. So let's go around that ear. Get a little darker right in there. We do want it to show up as darker, but it's easier to go a little darker as you go than to start out dark and then try to lighten it. Here's a V. That's darker. Okay, the underside of the ear, just because it's the bottom, we're going to go a little darker on that. His little goatee area, sometimes those are white. Mine's darker. Under the ribbon, then get lighter as you come down with it. Underneath the goatee, now see, that's pretty dark. I put that darker because I want that to be lighter. And I'm using the same gray, which means this has to be darker. And that's an angle in there. It's a V. This is a V. There's a V over here. His head is casting a little shadow down on his body. So get that in. This is a V. And then bring it up. Okay, this back leg is under him. His whole body is going to leave a shadow on that leg. See how we just pushed that leg to the back by doing that? Okay, so now we've got him with the darks. Let's come back in with the gray. Okay, so now with the original gray, I'm going to come in with just small circles all over. Looking at the time real quick, 21. Okay, so we still have time. Good. So I'm going to come in here now with the lighter gray. Just do circles all over. Just blending that color. Getting color down into the grooves that are white. Getting it down in there. Don't go into his horn anymore yet. We'll fix that in a minute. Okay, I have a line right here. So I'm going to go color it in. It's where I got close to her, but not all the way. So I just went ahead and finished that off. And then circles. Circles over all of it. Just really blending this. The more the circles, the better blended. From time to time, you see me move the paper. It's because I don't know if I'm actually denting into my plastic or not. So from time to time, I do move it around just to be sure that I'm not getting in the same grooves. It's just like an overhead transparency. There's actually something in the paper there. I feel it. There it is. It was underneath it. So that'll take care of that problem. All right, now with all that dark we did, see, it's not so dark anymore. There's a little bit of shading in there, but not as dark as you might have thought. So I have my dark again, and I'm coming in making my darks darker. Let your darks be dark. It's what's going to make your lights look lighter. Just coming around here, fading out as I go. Getting those dark areas darker. And see, as dark as we did his leg, it's still okay. Because we put the lighter over the top, it changed that color up a bit. Okay, that leg is down under, so that might have some shadow on it. Let's deepen this V up again over here. Let's just deepen up the side of his neck. And over here, it makes that look like it's pushed back some. All right, then we're going to go back and blend again. It just takes time, y'all. Don't be in a hurry. You got somewhere to be? If you do, just stop the video, go do what you need to do, and come back to it. But don't get in a hurry with your coloring because of other stuff that's going on. Pay attention, do your other stuff, and then come back. We've done a good job. We don't want to mess it up at this point. Okay? Just get it all blended nice. Okay, now see, he's not matching into anything else because we made him in the grays. So now you're going to take your white and come back up here, start at the top, little circles, go down into that gray. Okay? Can you see that? Now, see how it's all choppy looking? See how she's smooth? Let's get him smooth. Clean part. Making sure I don't have any purple on that. Because if I do, I'll go clean part again and not smear it into the rest of him. Okay. All smooth. Can't always catch it. There you go. You can see where it's smooth. See how it looks like there's almost little pitted areas? That's the texture of the paper. Yeah, seriously. So paper, if you put it under a microscope, is going to be hills and valleys. Okay? So the first time you color, you're hitting all the top of this. The second time you put in color, you're starting to push the color down into the valleys. The next time you're putting it in more, and you're just building that color until it's finally all smooth across there. Oh, my skin looks old. But anyway, you see what I'm saying? So what you're doing is layering that color until it gets smooth. So that's what we've done. Okay, we're on 27 minutes. I don't really want to start anything new. I'm going to stop here and we'll come back next time and figure out what color we want the donkey, and we'll do our rooster, and then it just takes a while to do a page. But I will see y'all later. Bye.